Of course, Jesus was created at a time not long ago, but God existed eternally much before. And there is no sign whatsoever in the nature which indicates that there was somebody else living with God and helping him in giving birth to creation. So, this is our attitude about Jesus Christ. Whether Christians believe it or not, it's up to them.
A gentleman has given this question, but I think he forgot to put his name. But if I read, someone's asked the question, but he has forgot to put his name down. Yes. If I ask the question, then he may.
Please.
I am a Roman Catholic and my wife is a Muslim.
Yes, please. That's right.
Yes. My question is, what is the difference between Muslims, Sunni Muslims, and the Ahmadiyya community?
I represent Ahmadiyya community as such. And the difference between Ahmadiyya community and Sunni Muslims can be described briefly by informing you that we have, as Ahmadis, we believe Islam only existed at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his early followers, truly without any interference by outer influences. That is to say, at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Islam that existed, that was true Islam, and the proof was that Islam as believed was also shown, practiced as one religion by the whole society. There was no division in the societies caused by Islam. So the moment divisions happen to exist or take place in the society, that time showed that Islam was being broken, and Islam is a representative of unity of God which cannot be broken. So that only means that some people drifted away from the unity of God, and that is why Islam started a downhill journey towards differences between sects and sects, etc., etc. So what we believe, Ahmadis, is that if we do believe in Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Islam as represented by him, we must show that unity of ideology and unity of practice, regardless of which color we belong to, which nation we belong to. And I believe, and I can prove it to you, that Ahmadiyyat has proved itself to be right in this regard. Because we have gained Ahmadi Muslims from all over the world. And none of them differs with each other in their views, in their thoughts, in their practices of Islam. They're exactly the same. So if such unity can be forged in 160 countries of the world, what better proof can you require for the honesty of Ahmadiyya purpose? This you will find lacking in other Muslim sects, etc., unfortunately.
He also has another question that could you please point out which verse in the Quran refers to another prophet after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
The Holy Quran refers to this issue in so many ways. Number one, the Holy Quran tells us that God took a covenant from all his prophets that when another prophet follows, they would fully support him if he does not disagree with the principles of the preceding prophet. Now this covenant was also taken by from Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Holy Quran says it in so many words. We took this covenant of prophets from all prophets, and we take this from you, O Prophet of Allah Muhammad Rasulullah. So that shows that there was still a prophet to come. or this covenant should not have been taken at all. And the essential qualifications of that prophet should have been the same as I mentioned before, that if a prophet after you comes who supports the principles enunciated by you and the teachings which have been founded by you, then that prophet should not be rejected. In fact, you should advise your people to support such a prophet. So that is the prime verse, in my view, which supports the Ahmadiyya interpretation of Khatam al-Nabiyyin. Secondly, there is a verse in Surah An-Nisa which says, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. That if after this prophet, Muhammad Rasulullah, if anyone follows Allah and this prophet, Muhammad Rasulullah, these would be the people, and they would be alone the people who would be recipients of awards from Allah. And what are those awards? They are described as Minan Nabiyina. Such people would be from among the prophets, was Siddiqina, and belong to the second order after prophethood, which is called Siddiqiyat, the real truthfulness, perfect truthfulness. And then Shuhada, martyrs in the name of Allah. And then As-Salihin, ordinary people who are righteous in their deeds. These are the 4 awards, spiritual awards, which had been granted to the man prior to Muhammad Rasulullah. And they are again shown in this verse to be given to all the true followers of Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to cut the long story short, I can offer so many other references as well, but I think these two should be found sufficient for the time being.
Miss Fola Adedeji.
Yes, please.
Why is religious music not encouraged in Islam?
Religious music can mislead people because music is something which has its own effect on people, and if you are lost to the effect of music, there is very little room left for the remembrance of Allah. So religious music is just a guise, just an excuse, no more. That is why in the beginning of all religions, music was not employed. In none of the religions. When the religions began to drift away from the original pristine sources, then gradually to attract people, they started these devices as music. What would bring people back to religion, they think, was the influence of music. But it could only bring them back to music, not to God. And this is my experience. These music lovers do not change in their style of life under the influence of that music. I can quote the example of some qawwals who are who have gained world fame in reciting religious songs in a manner that it influences the listeners very profoundly. And after this, when they return back to their normal life, they are as far away from religion themselves as they were prior to giving this performance. So one should be meaningful. Religion has its own music, and that music is the spiritual music which is caused by memory of Allah. if your emotions